I want to bring up an anniversary. And we'll relate this to some of the sports conversations we're having. But for you wrestling fans out there, and I am a wrestling fan. I used to be a huge wrestling fan in my youth. I remember, and I'm sure a lot of you out there remember as well, the heel turn by one, what was Hulk Hogan that turned to Hollywood Hogan?
NWO?
It was 27 years ago today.
Come on. Bash at the beach.
Yeah. Where Hulk Hogan walked out. It was Macho Man in the ring.
Yeah.
He walks out.
It was who's the third man?
It was the third man. And turns out it was Hulk Hogan. It was one of the greatest hero heel turns in the history of pop culture. Definitely the greatest in wrestling history. And
right.
that's a theme in wrestling. But it got me thinking, what's the greatest one in modern sports? Is it still LeBron? Is it still LeBron?
I wouldn't put LeBron in that.
I don't know. Dame Lillard's going to be pushing it right now.
Dame Lillard is going to be. That's a great point. He is going to be pushing
Dame Lillard is really pushing for a heel turn right now.
Yeah,
because he is also not getting in front of it. He's letting his agent do the talking, and then he's going to show up in Miami when people are like, "Hey, man, we don't like you anymore." He's like, "But I'm a nice guy." Like, no. You cheated. We don't like cheaters, especially one who was sanctimonious before.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's calling out everybody else for going to a team to win. And then you went to a team to win.
Yeah, how come all the greatest heel turns in sports are in basketball?
Because
Kawhi is a great one. Kawhi is a really good one. Kawhi is a great one. LeBron, I still think it might be the greatest just because his was unintentional. Like, he didn't even try to become a villain. He had the Boys and Girls Club announcement,
but I feel like,
all that, and he still ended up becoming a villain because it was his hometown team, kind of thing.
And then he went back to Cleveland, though, and won a title.
I agree. So, yeah. But
so it kind of, like, it was a heel turn, but then there's retribution.
Then he went back to being Hollywood.
Then he went to Hollywood.
Then he went from Hulk Hogan to Hollywood Hogan to back to Hulk Hogan because he went back home.
But he's less hated because he did give Cleveland their title.
Yeah, and he didn't demand trades. He kept signing short deals and then leaving in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
So it's not where he said, "I know you're going to trade me for none of their best." Like,
when like Kawhi
burned down
Dame.
a franchise on the way out.
You
didn't do that.
Kawhi did. He blew it up.
Yeah.
He just blew it up.
Well, Kawhi did it too, because Kawhi was like, I need out of San Antonio, and then left in free agency from Toronto. So two franchises like, what?
And both y'all got titles? Shut up. Y'all complain about getting titles. Man, he left both of us.
Strike right now.
He left both y'all rich and famous? You're complaining about this? Because about what an a-hole he was and he left you with titles? But no, you're a good point. Kawhi is in there because you're right. He did to two different squads, two different fandoms. But like I said, y'all got titles. So I think LeBron is still up there, but you're right. He did rectify it, so there's not as much vitriol. Honestly, KD's are really bad because his one to go to Golden State, it upset everybody. Matter of fact, my take is still he's the only NBA superstar in history, in my opinion, to win a title and be less respected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually you win a title, you're like, oh, man, all right, he got our respect. He won his title. That's what he had to do. No, he's less respected after winning the titles, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, and his interest, and then he hung out with Kyrie, which automatically makes you a pariah.
Even more so of a villain.
To so many people. And then when that blew up, he demanded a trade out of there. So he's got a lot of people in his wake.
KD's a heel now.
Yeah.
He's straight up heel. He went from being like a beloved. He had a movie. What was the movie? Thunderstruck or whatever?
That Phoenix team a lot of people are going to watch that. A lot of people are going to hate watch the Phoenix team this year because it is just like those guys like, you're all overpaid.
Right.
The most team that you're going to hear everybody go, it's overpaid.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. I mean, but they give KD, and think about KD as well, I love me some KD because he's a legendary lifetime Longhorn, but we're just speaking the facts about his NBA legacy. The one thing about KD is he's a reluctant leader. With the squads that he's on, because he doesn't like confrontation. He doesn't want all the burden to fall on him. My man VY always said, at the quarterback position, you get all the girls, but you get all the grief.
Yep.
Get it all. You get the good stuff and the bad. This is part of being a leader.
You got to be prepared for it.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for it. Yep. I don't think KD wants all that. He wants to play ball. He doesn't want the burden of either one, the good or the bad. And I think that honestly that hurts him. Right. In his legacy. You got to be that guy. You want to be the man. That's the price of being the man. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah. I'll give you a couple. Did someone mention on the text line Deshaun Watson? It's an interesting one.
That's a hell of a one.
He was a really like model
He's
citizen, beloved guy, and then demands a trade out of Houston, which I understand, but does not earn you any favors.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out everything else. And then I'll throw another football name in there. Mike Vick kind of had a real drastic heel turn that he was really liked. Everyone played him in video games, and then to a lot of people was excommunicated.
I remember this. That's true. I'll agree with you on that too. I remember when Mike Vick, and he's tried to make amends, and he paid his debt to society.
Yes,
and all
he
that kind of stuff.
did.
But you're right. He did. He never, and he did end up signing a big deal, big contract with Philadelphia when he came out. So there was a bit of that. He was able to reinvent himself, and he had the redemption. But he was never as beloved as he was when he.
Yeah, and there was a solid 2 years of this man should be put to death. And you're like, come on. All right, wait, take it back a little bit. But people wanted that.
I remember some of the most if I could make a list of the most polarizing topics I've discussed in this business since I've been doing it, which is now 15 years or whatever, the Mike Vick stuff is definitely in the top 5.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Easy. Because it was so polarizing. It just it got racially divided too, a lot of that.
Always.
And I said this, and I said it at the time, and I'll say it again. And people hated this take, and I don't give a damn. I'm repeating it because I think it was a good take, and I think it aged a little bit better than it was at the time. It wasn't so much. It was a part of it was about, of course, Michael Vick and the race element and the kind of the sociological element of it all. But one thing that situation showed that we are obsessed with as an American society. We're obsessed with our pets.
100%.
Like, people wanted to make that about animal rights, and it wasn't about animal rights. It wasn't. Because none of us really care that much about animal rights. If we did, we'd be discussing a much broader macro topic about animal rights. That was about pets and our love for pets. Mm-hmm. And I always said if he had been fighting some chickens, it'd have been different.
Oh, yeah, nobody would have been worried about the roosters.
Worried about it. Yeah. It was dogs, and we see dogs as members of our family and pets as members of our family. So it was more about our obsession with pets in this society, which I am all for. But I have seen, there are videos of people rescuing dogs from homeless people and leaving the homeless people on the street. We got to take care of this dog. You abusing the dog. It's like, that's true, but so we are obsessed with pets. I get it because I'm obsessed with mine, but that's what that was about. People saw their dogs being abused when Michael Vick abused those dogs. And it was wrong. It was horrible, disgusting, and deplorable. But like I said, it was more psychologically. You want to analyze and psychoanalyze Americans and our society. That was about our obsession with pets. We love pets. You go look at how much money we spend on pets annually. It's crazy.
I would agree with that.
It is crazy. It is absurd.
As a pet owner,
but I'm a
pet
totally
owner. Understood.
I already know.
Yeah.
If the vet tells me, oh, man, we got to do this. You know what I mean? You got to pay for this. So something might happen to your pet, and I'm fitting the bill.
Yep.
I'm spending a lot of money for the pet. So that's the way it goes.
Hard youth. Can you think of any baseball players that did it? I mean,
you could say Barry Bonds was a guy. You can also say Roger Clemens, because Roger Clemens went from the Red Sox to the Yankees.
No,
and was staring at Boston when he was with Toronto after they made him trade.
Yeah, and I mean, we could say Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa after the steroid allegations came out because they were so beloved at one point, and then they're like, wait a minute, y'all cheated? And they're like, but everybody was cheating.
That's a good point. Baseball
may have
cheaters. Baseball may have more than any of the other sports. I would think about it. If you look at it from that perspective.
That it's not any real decision. It just came out later, and then it's like, now we hate you.
No, see, I'll take it even further. The Astros as a team.
Yeah.
The entire
damn team. Remember, they were loved because they were ahead of schedule in 2017. They were the underdog. And
they were on the cover of Sports Illustrated where they predicted that they were going to win the World Series.
Yeah, but that's because, remember, everybody thought Sports Illustrated was stupid at the time. I remember that discussion. They were like, that's crazy. That's not going to happen. And it happened. All right, they were way ahead of schedule, and as Patrick mentioned, they were the underdog, and they were essentially the Siberia of Major League Baseball for a little while, and they became relevant overnight, and everybody loved all the great stories of Jose Altuve and all the dynamic personalities, the dancing in the dugout, that kind of stuff. And then after the cheating scandal, there was a hero to heel flip. They became one of the most hated franchises on the planet.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree.
And you know what? I would say Golden State went through something similar too. Golden State was everybody's favorite team when we discovered Steph Curry and that style of play, and it was high energy, it was fun to watch, aesthetically pleasing, and Steph Curry was unlike anything we had ever seen before in basketball. And then over time, especially after they got KD, it was like, man, I'm tired of these damn Warriors.
Yeah, Draymond started talking more.
Exactly. Draymond went from
That's the worst part about it.
he went from like the hardworking spirit animal, blue collar attitude to being basically people were like, oh man, he's a miscreant.
Yeah,
right?
He's a bad take machine. He just comes out every 3 months. He's like, y'all not talking about me again?
Yeah.
Well,
I
think Michael Jordan could probably play like fifth string for us. Like, come on, man.
Exactly. That's a great
bad
point.
take machine.
So you're right. Teams, it can happen to teams too.
Yeah.
The Patriots did that. The Patriots, I mean, they first won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody loved the Patriots. By the time they won their 4th or 5th, people hated the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Hated them.
Yeah.
That was a hero to heel turn too.
Would Tom Brady be considered a heel because of him leaving?
But I think he became I don't know if he ever went full heel because there was always enough people that liked him.
Yeah.
That he never went full heel.
He never went full on heel. I agree with this. That's a great point. Because you can argue even LeBron never went full on heel. That's why your point is he got redemption because he never embraced the villainy.
Correct.
You got to embrace being a heel and a villain.
Yeah.
And he never wanted to.
And it's also that thing of like when he goes to your team, then
your hatred
so
changes.
There's people that like.
That's true.
So there's always those, like because we could say in Astros fans like Garrett Cole went full heel when we reclaimed his career, and then he goes to the Yankees to try and beat us, and then you're like, well, yeah, to Astros fans, then he went heel, but in all reality, to Yankees fans, I mean, they don't like him anymore now because they're paying him a lot of money,
and he's underperforming.
But at the time, they're like, well, no, he's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
so
now you're right. It's all about perceptions and how they shift. I mean, that's a great point because hate to bring it up like the Colin Kaepernick thing to one group he's a hero, to another group he's a heel.
Yeah.
Well,
and he was and most people were pretty neutral on him before. So you gotta that hero to heel, you gotta be.
That's a good point. Sorry to bring up Kaepernick, please don't expect
please don't hit
that.
us like
We just brought it up as a example. One more other example though before we move on and talk some NFL. I want to play this sound from Kellen Moore and Peter Schrager about Dak Prescott. Jose Canseco might be the greatest heel turn in baseball because of him opening up, the can of worms. And remember, he was the first one to mention steroids publicly and say, oh, no, it's way more widespread than any of y'all think. I think his number was like 75% of the league or something like that he threw out at one time.
That's because he knew from experience.
Because he knew.
Yeah.
And everybody at the time, they hated him for saying, they were like, oh, man, you just shut up, Canseco. Why would you say that? Why would you, say those disparaging things about the game and those negative things about the game and paint it in such a negative light? And turns out, now Canseco is still a narcissist, bit egotistical, and yes, he's an attention whore, and he wants it all for himself too. That is, all those things can be true, but he also was right about the steroids, and I think he had a heel turn too. Because at one time he was beloved, people loved Canseco. I remember when he was on like cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how beloved he was at one time, and now not so. Now people now really don't even take Canseco seriously. He's become like a caricature now.
He's been the one that if you want terrible take or hot take, you call Canseco because all you got to do is say A-Rod, and then he'll go crazy.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
when your story changes 3 times, and it's like it gets more sensational every time.
Yeah.
People stop calling you. And it's, hey, man, so 75% of the league was doing steroids. And they're like, okay, that's crazy. And then the next time it's like, yeah, and then I was shooting women right in their butts. And they're like, okay. And they're like, people walking around, needles hanging out of their butts. And the whole life, you're like, all right, Jose, tone it down.
Simmer down now, Jose.
That's funny. Okay, I got a text. Somebody says, greatest heel turn in sports history is not even close. It is O.J. Simpson, ladies and gentlemen. It's true.
Yeah.
He was beloved. I mean, he was on.
I get it. Yeah.
He was on comedies.
Very much after.
He was a crossover.
Yes.
He was a crossover celebrity. He was on broadcasts and stuff. And now he's known as a despicable, horrible human being.
Now he's just a guy on Twitter. Does he have a Threads?
Alleged murderer. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
Give me a minute. I'll find him.
You got a Threads account? Okay, y'all have a nice day.
I was so surprised that OJ never got into reality TV. I was shocked that it never happened.
I think it was probably in contracts from his lawyers. They were probably like, bro,
No,
you are the last person to be doing a reality because you're going to slip.
No, somebody told me the reason he actually hasn't done it is because of the money that he owes. He has to have some.
That makes sense.
There's got to be some real manipulation about his finances because if there's too much on the books about what he's making, then he owes money about that too. So that's what I've heard. But
that sounds about right.
I like that. Lance Armstrong's another good poll.
Oh, that's a good
poll on the text line there.
That's how can we forget that's hometown?
That's hometown.
Damn, that was. Honestly, he's in the same. I'm not going to put him in the OJ category.
Yeah.
But he's a couple of tiers below OJ, but he's right. It's one of the greatest heel turns of all time. He's on a show now.
Yeah, he's on a reality.
Mars?
That Celebrities on Mars thing.
Celebrities on Mars or something?
Which
yeah.
It's going to be a weird one when he pulls up.
He's already said something controversial on it, too, and I can't think of what it was. I saw the headline. And I didn't read it.
No.
I didn't click.
No.
I saw Lance Armstrong says something controversial, and I did not click.
He said, let's not ruin my day.
I mean, but I would have been shocked if it was clickbait, and I would have been shocked if he actually said something controversial. And I was like, you know what? I'm moving on.
I'm going to go ahead and let him make it today on
more
this
important
one.
things. Yeah, but that's a good one, man, because, wow. Yeah, there's no denying he's considered a heel by everybody, and that was never redemption. That was never. He never had the redemption story.
No, he tried to do the Oprah thing.
Yeah,
and it didn't work. Didn't track.
Yeah.
Did he cry on Oprah's couch? You got to cry on the couch.
I don't know if
you want the redemption, you got to cry.
He didn't cry enough because we would know if he cried enough.
Yeah, you got to cry. You got to cry, man. When you've done wrong like that and you've been caught like red-handed, obviously doing something duplicitous, you just got to cry and just be like, "I was a horrible human being. I need y'all to forgive me." And most of the time, America does.
Yeah.
They try their best, too.
They can relate to being a horrible human being because most of us have done that at one time. And it shouldn't define who we are. It should just be an experience you grow from. And you realize, I never want to be that person.
No, and he's still got the survive cancer. And he's still got the foundation that's done a lot of good work. So there is positives that he can redeem himself. But yeah, you gotta own up a little bit.
Ooh, someone said OJ had a reality prank show called Juice in 2006. How did I miss that? Is that true? Oh, we gotta Google that.
It might have past your mind because you probably wasn't thinking about it at all.
What?
I remember hearing a thing about it, but I don't know if it ever happened.
Maybe if that happened and we missed it, now I apologize because that should be front of mind in the pop culture realm.
Any of that.
Someone says Tyson. I've always said this about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, in my opinion, is the greatest redemption story in modern sports. He went to jail for rape, sexual assault. And now people ask their kids to go over and take pictures with Mike Tyson. And he does one-man shows and he does cameos in movies and comedies because people love him so much. This was a guy that one time told female reporters, I will not do interviews with you unless I can fornicate with you first. Those are his words, not mine. So, like, he was a walking psychopath, like a sociopath. At any moment,
he would lose his mind.
Yes, and now he's beloved. And I can't think of another story like that. In American sports. Oof. Especially today where everything is cancelable and everybody can be canceled for deeds they did, 20, 30, 40 years ago. When you were a teenager, when you were a preteen, you tweeted out something, tweet out the N-word, you canceled, can't
we
get
coming
a job
back to get
in
you.
your 30s.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reality. And this guy, we got everything that he did on tape. There's judicial records. He paid his debt to society. But America loves Mike Tyson. You know why I think it is? He's authentic.
Yeah, he's never
very
tried
fake
to be fake.
He's never tried to fake it because if he did, we wouldn't have half the stuff we had, the dirt on Mike Tyson that we did. He is 100% genuine article, and it's scary as hell sometimes. Mm-hmm. He said he would eat your kids. He did.
He
said
say that. He sure did. He sure did.
And like I said, now you would send your kids over. Oh, get take a picture of Mike Tyson. He's so nice. Look, thank you, Mike.
Don't forget that. He said he was going to eat your kids.
Remember that dude that tried to fight Mike Tyson on a plane?
On the plane, yeah. Yep. No
Where's
doubt.
that dude at now? Is he in like some insane asylum? They had to commit that dude.
He might be in some rehab.
Mike Tyson didn't hit him or anything, did he?
Yeah.
He did hit him, didn't he?
Yeah, because he had to get him off of him. Yeah, the dude would not leave him alone.
Y'all got to stop getting on these planes high.